Let's talk about Splitgate 2. Not the hat, not the controversy, not the weird launch, not the super excited. Let's talk about Splitgate 2 and kind of it's interesting as another VC-backed free-to-play shooter and what it's struggling with and where it's at, and this didn't help. The first up, I want to say I hope they do well. I feel for them. They're young developers, and let's kind of go over some of where they're at. So Splitgate 1, if you don't know it, was just two college friends start a game company, make Splitgate. It hits. It peaks. It goes crazy, right? It becomes this viral sensation for a while. At one point, it peaked at 67,000 concurrent players. And that's not 67,000 that day. That second in time, 67,000 players. So there was even more, right? But it was bad to monetize. It was an ugly game. Wasn't monetizing, but fun as hell. Like it's that classic gameplay first, graphics second. It hit. It brought something new to the gaming scene. People were totally in for it. All right. So VCs come and VCs say, we'll give you $100 million to make a sequel. $100 million. I mean, first they try to monetize that one. It doesn't take off. So they're going to do a sequel. Red flag number one. Early on, the guy's like, we're going to hire 100 people in a month. But he had a hack, and that was they were only going to hire the best people. They're young, straight out of school, first job. Hiring 100 people, but their hack was only hiring the best ones. I don't know why everyone else is such a fool to hire the bad ones, but okay. So that shows a lot of being new at the job. But okay, I'm still pulling for them, right? But $100 million, they can afford to make some mistakes. So they start working on Splitgate 2, and that's what $100 million is for, right? Like that is what they should be doing. But also, like, you've made a hit game straight out of college. You get $100 million. You're flying high. It's hard to tell you no or that you're wrong about anything, including wearing that hat and making a speech like you did to launch it. But okay. You're out there. You're beta testing Splitgate 2. It's not hitting. You've kind of dumbed down some of what made Splitgate, the original, so interesting and so good. You're doing more than just a reskin and fixing some problems. You're starting from scratch. And it's not hitting as hard. And people already know what it is. So you go do your launch and you peak at 25,000 at start. And that's what it is today. So it's flat, which is fine. It's 3 days. They can still pull this out, I think. But you're at 67,000. And 67,000 would have been a decent free-to-play launch today. But it's not. It's also summer. It's a rough time to launch anything. But 25,000, you are lower than every other free-to-play major VC-backed launch that I can think of today. So here's the problem. They have a different problem than everybody else has. And then they have the same problem everybody else has. So the other people that you can go look at like Spectre Divide and say what you want, but they launched strong. Even if people didn't know about it, they were still over 50,000 concurrent to start, which means they hit enough that they could have taken off. But the problem then is they have to have enough content in Season Pass and all of that to feed the beast of what people want, right? And we see that again and again, where you get the big spike and then the trail off, right? And that's where that happens. But Splitgate didn't get that. So that means their first problem is, well, they have a bunch of problems they have to solve all at once, I think. And I'm kind of curious what people think. A, I see them ads everywhere, but they're not hitting. Right? I see ads for Splitgate 2 on every single gaming adjacent thing. So they are trying to advertise because they want to get that top of funnel. But then they have to fix what they have. And so right away, I think they did refunds. They cut the price of all the cosmetics to 50%, which is awesome. Good, you're listening. That's like a cool move, right? That's why I'm pulling for them. I am. We can disagree about a million things with them, but like they're young, they're learning, cool. And that shows they're listening, cool, right? If they can make their players happy, that's what's important. So that's what they're trying to do now. But they also have to bring in new players. But they really put their foot in their mouth on that one because if you don't know them, you're like, I don't need another MAGA BS guy, right? You can't wear that hat and not be political. It's a political statement. You're aligning. Deal with it, bro. So now we look at it. They're flat. And again, it's really next weekend will be the thing that kind of sees if they spike up a little bit or not. But it wasn't that big splashy launch, even though they did a big splashy launch. Now, it's, again, summer. But they got a couple things working against them. July and August are even slower months. They have Steam Summer Sale coming up, which will hurt them as well because they're free to play. They can't lower the price of their game. It's as low as it's going to go. So what do? What do you do? You're in charge. What do you do? What do you do? Like, seriously, they're in a hard spot. I have a friend who recently, not quite this spot, but a similar spot, said, well, today we just make lemonade. Of just take what they have and make the best of it. But think about, for them, $100 million. They hired a bunch of people. They're big now, so that means their run rate's high. They just cut the price of everything in half. So they had to think they were going to launch bigger and get those higher prices. So now they launch smaller and lower prices means they're making less per player, which means they might be in trouble. Or they may have banked a bunch of stuff as well, hopefully. So I'm not going to poo-poo them. I'm not going to say they're going to fail. Again, I hope they do well. But if you're in charge, what do you do? If you played Splitgate 1, why are you playing Splitgate 2? Do you like it more? Why don't you like it? I mean, and they're listening to their players. And that is going to be the thing that will save them, is listening to the players, I think. And I think you have to listen to your players, and you have to do things, even if you disagree with them, you at least have to try them and think the players are right. Because right now the players are telling you're wrong. And that's hard. Now, my small team didn't have a big enough of a budget or team to react and change, and we did like the versus mode and all of that, and it just took us too long, and we lost momentum. And I like that I talk about how our game failed to the level it failed, and people still come on here in the comments and be like, you failed, you shouldn't talk. But I talk about that. I don't know. All right. But so yeah, you're in charge of Splitgate. Besides getting rid of the hat, what do you do? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you played it. Let me know if you're playing 2. Let me know if you're playing 1. Because I've heard some people talk about from 1 to 2, they didn't like the changes they made. They thought they made it more of a generic shooter and not as interesting. And that's a problem. Because it's a really competitive space. So what do you do?